I was the last one in the office again. The lights were low, just the soft glow from my screen and the city outside. I heard the elevator ding, and when I glanced up, it was him. Of course it was him, still here. Xavier's voice slid into the room like silk, calm and low. I could ask you the same, I said without looking at him. My fingers danced over the keyboard, pretending to finish the report. He walked closer. I felt it, that quiet shift in the air whenever he was near. Dedicated, he said, stopping just behind me. I like that about you. I didn't turn around. You like a lot of things about me, don't you? A beat passed. I heard the way he exhaled, subtle but charged. Then softly, is that a problem? I finally turned, slowly, like it wasn't already eating me alive. That depends. Are you flirting with your employee again, Mr. Xavier? His lips twitched, not quite a smile. You never call me that unless you're trying to keep your distance. I stood up. Bad move. He was closer than I thought. I felt my breath catch in my throat. His body heat, the faint scent of something warm and expensive, it hit all at once. I don't mix work with. I swallowed. With distractions, Xavier's eyes dropped to my lips for a second, and then back to my eyes. You don't look distracted. You look like you're trying not to be. I hated how right he was. You shouldn't say things like that, I whispered. Not unless you mean them. I don't say anything I don't mean. My heart kicked up. I was standing too still, but I couldn't step back. He reached around me, not touching, just close, and tapped a folder beside my laptop. You forgot to submit this. Thanks, I murmured, but the words sounded broken, too soft. I didn't move, then his fingers brushed mine, deliberate this time. Slow. Heat traveled up my arm like a fuse had been lit. I could take you home, he said, eyes still on my face. No, I breathed. You don't trust me? I don't trust myself. That made him smile. Not playful, not arrogant, something else, something like regret. I think about you, he said, and it shattered me. Way more than I should. Then stop. He tilted his head. Is that what you want? God, no, I said. It was the worst truth. His fingers brushed my cheek, and I let them. Stupid, I let them. You always do everything so perfectly, he said. So in control. It makes me wonder how you'd look if you let go. I shook my head, but my body didn't move away. Don't do this to me. I'm already doing it, he murmured. Then he said my name. Just my name. Like a prayer. Like he needed it. I closed my eyes. You're my boss, and you're the only thing that feels real in this goddamn building. He leaned in too close. I could feel his breath now. You're playing with fire, I said. Then burn me. I don't know who moved first. Maybe we both did. But the space between us vanished, and his lips were so close I felt the shape of them before they touched me. But he didn't kiss me. Not yet. He just hovered there, waiting, as if giving me a choice. I stepped back. Barely, but enough. Can't, I whispered. Not tonight. Something flickered in his eyes, disappointment, maybe, or restraint. He nodded once, jaw tight. All right, but before he turned to leave, he reached out again. Just a single touch, his fingers at the edge of my sleeve. I meant it, he said. Every word, and then he walked away. Just like that. I stood there long after the elevator doors closed. He touched me like I meant something, like I was the only woman in the world, and God help me, I believed it. I hope you're not nervous, he said, sliding into the booth across from me. I wasn't sure what to say. I was nervous, but not about the menu. This place is upscale, I muttered, folding my hands in my lap. Xavier smiled. Figured you deserved something nice. You've been killing it lately. I thought this was about a promotion. I gave a small, polite smile. You said you wanted to discuss my future. I did. He leaned forward. Does that make this dinner less enjoyable for you? I don't mix work and pleasure. I said it too fast, too rehearsed. You keep saying that, he said softly, tilting his head. But you haven't moved away once. He was right. I hadn't. I picked up my water glass to buy a few seconds. He watched every move I made like I was something fragile and forbidden. The the waiter came and we ordered. I barely remember what I said. My brain wasn't in the food. Under the table, his knee brushed mine. I didn't move it. Then his hand, light, slow, grazed the top of my thigh. My breath caught. I glanced around. No one was looking. Is this okay? He asked. No, I whispered. He didn't pull away. Neither did I. He leaned closer, voice low. You drive me crazy. The way you avoid looking at me. The way you pretend you don't notice. I'm not pretending. You blush when I say your name. I don't blush. You're blushing now. I hated how warm I felt. I hated how much I wanted to believe every word. This isn't what I expected, I said quietly. He nodded. Neither did I. But here we are. When we stepped outside, the air was cool. My heels clicked against the sidewalk as I followed him to his car. He opened the door for me, like it was natural. I sat down. I didn't ask where we were going. He slid into the driver's seat, but didn't start the engine. Still want to talk about the promotion? He asked, turning to face me. No, he laughed once, soft and dark. You're the most frustrating woman I've ever met. You're the most confusing man I've ever wanted. There it was. No way to take it back. Silence pulsed between us like a held breath. Then he reached over slow, like he was giving me every chance to stop him, and touched my jaw with the back of his fingers. You sure? No, I said, but I don't want to be alone tonight. That was all it took. He kissed me hard like he'd been starving. I clutched his shirt, tugging him closer. My back pressed against the door as his mouth moved down my neck. Hot and slow. Say my name, he breathed. Xavian. I love how you say it, he growled against my skin. We didn't go further. Not all the way. I stopped him when his hand slipped under my shirt. Not yet, I said, breathless. Please. His chest rose and fell as he looked down at me. He wasn't angry, just paused, holding back. I'd never push you, he said. This, whatever this is, I'm not trying to take anything from you. I nodded. My fingers lingered on his shoulder longer than they should have. He started the car after that. Drove me home in silence. His hand stayed on the gearshift, not on me. When we pulled up outside my building, I reached for the door handle. He stopped me. I meant it, he said. You matter to me. I looked at him for a long second. Then tell me who she is. He blinked. What? You wear cologne. But that wasn't your scent tonight. That was perfume. His jaw clenched. I'm not stupid, I added, softer now. I need to know what I'm walking into. He exhaled through his nose. It's complicated. So is heartbreak, I whispered, opening the door. I'll call you tomorrow, he said as I got out. I didn't answer. The apartment was dark. Raisa had left the hallway light on for me. Like always, I dropped my purse on the counter, kicked off my shoes, and went straight to my room. I didn't even bother to change. The scent of him still clung to my skin. My mouth was still warm from his kiss. I lay on my bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Xavian, I shouldn't have touched you. But I don't regret it. I stared at the message until my eyes blurred. Then I turned the phone over. You didn't sleep, Raisa said the next morning, standing in the kitchen with a mug of coffee. I shook my head, curling up on the couch. Don't tell me he finally made a move, she said. I stayed quiet. She set the mug down with a louder than needed clink. You're kidding. It wasn't like that, I said. Really? Her arms crossed. Because it sounds exactly like that. He kissed me, and I let him. Oh babe, she sighed. You know he's dangerous, right? He's all charm and no clarity. I know. So why did you do it? Because, I said, choking on the word. For a second, I felt like I wasn't invisible. She sat down beside me. You're not invisible to me. But I wanted it from him, even if it's not real. I don't know what's real anymore. She wrapped her arm around me. You do. You're just scared to admit it. I nodded into her shoulder. I wanted more than his hands, I whispered. I wanted his truth. I wasn't snooping. I really wasn't. He'd asked me to find the Monroe file. Said it should be in the drawer on the right. So I opened it, and that's when I saw it, a small, silver bracelet. Dainty, feminine, with a little charm shaped like a crescent moon. On the inside, in tiny cursive letters, was one word, Alina. My heart slowed, then sped up. I stared at it for a second too long, then I shut the drawer. Hard. When he came back, I was standing by the window, pretending I wasn't dying inside. Find it? He asked, sipping his coffee like my world wasn't tilting. Yeah, I said, holding up the file. Perfect, he smiled, setting his cup down. Let's go over it now. I thought you had a call. Moved it, he said. Wanted to see you. His hand touched the small of my back, light and practiced. My skin should have shivered. Instead, I felt numb. We worked through the file in silence. Every time he leaned close, my body betrayed me, still reacting, still wanting. But my brain was louder now. That name Alina kept echoing. Who was she? Why did he have her bracelet? And why did he never mention her? Later, in the break room, I tried to act normal. He handed me coffee, smiled, his eyes crinkled at the corners, like they always did. Hey, I said, forcing lightness into my voice. Random question, shoot, he replied. Who's Alina? Just like that, his face changed. Not dramatically, just tightened, a flicker of something behind his eyes. He took a slow sip. Why do you ask? I saw a bracelet in your drawer. He paused again. Longer this time. It's nothing, he said. Just an old friend. Old friends don't usually leave jewelry in desk drawers. It's not what you think. I crossed my arms. Then what is it? She gave it to me once. I kept it. That's all. That's all. Yes. His voice had gone sharp, defensive. Okay, I said, nodding. Okay. He stepped closer. You don't believe me. I want to, I said. But something feels off. Xavier's jaw clenched. I don't owe you explanations. Wow, I breathed. Okay. No, I didn't mean it like that, he said quickly, his tone softening. I don't want to complicate what we have. What exactly do we have, Xavier? He stared at me. You tell me, he said. I thought we had something honest. His mouth twitched, like he wanted to say more but didn't. Can we not ruin this with questions? He whispered. Just be here with me. I looked down at the coffee in my hand. I don't want to be someone you hide, I said. Or someone you use to forget someone else. You're not, then tell me the truth. I don't have all the answers, he snapped. I'm trying to do what? To be close to you without falling apart. I blinked. He ran a hand through his hair. I've messed up a lot of things in my life. You're the only thing I haven't yet. Yet, I echoed, I care about you, but you're still keeping things from me. Silence. His silence said everything. I didn't speak to him the rest of the day. Every time I opened my mouth, I wanted to scream, or cry, or ask who she was. Again, and again. But I didn't. I just sat at my desk, answered emails, smiled when I had to, died a little inside. That night, Raisa was waiting when I walked in. You look like you found out he's married, she said, watching me kick off my shoes. I collapsed on the couch. Not married, just hiding something. Her eyes narrowed. What did he do? There's a bracelet in his drawer. It says Alina. He said she's an old friend. That's a lie. You don't know that. I know how men operate. I want to believe him. Of course you do, Raisa snapped. You're already into deep. I looked at her. You think I'm being used? I think, she said carefully, you're letting him decide your worth. My throat closed. I wanted it to mean something. I'm sure it did. To you. I turned away. You deserve someone who doesn't flinch when you ask for the truth. I'm not ready to walk away. Then don't, she said. But don't lose yourself trying to stay either. Later, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling again. I thought about his voice, his mouth on mine, the way he touched me like I was irreplaceable, and yet, someone else had been there. Before me, maybe even during me, Alina, the name curled like smoke around my lungs. I knew I should ask more, push more, but the part of me that was still clinging, still needing him to choose me, just kept whispering. Maybe I imagined it, maybe it's nothing, maybe he meant it when he said I matter, but that voice, the small, trembling one in the back of my mind, was already asking if I meant everything. Why is he still hiding her? I didn't plan to go, I just ended up there, his building, his floor, his door partially open like it was waiting for me. I should have knocked, I didn't. Her laugh hit me first. Soft, confident, familiar in the worst way. Then I saw her, barefoot, curled on his couch, wearing his hoodie, holding his wine glass. She looked up and smiled politely, probably assuming I was the neighbor or delivery or someone else unimportant. And then she saw my face, and I saw hers. Alina. No doubt. Hey, Xavier's voice came from the kitchen. Did you find that? He walked in holding a plate of strawberries. His smile vanished when he saw me. He didn't move, just stood there, like I was the one out of place, like I was interrupting something sacred. I used the key, I said, my voice quieter than I meant. He set the plate down, slowly. You shouldn't be here. Clearly, I whispered. Alina looked between us, confused, unaware. Xavier, what's going on? I couldn't stop staring at her. Her face, her fingers playing with the hem of the hoodie. My hoodie. I stepped forward. How long? Xavier didn't answer. I looked directly at him. How long? He rubbed his temple. Please don't do this here. How long? I said again, sharper this time. Alina stood. Xavier, what is this? He sighed, then finally met my eyes. It was never serious, he said. My stomach dropped. You were a distraction. My lips parted, but nothing came out. A what? I choked. It was fun, he added, like he was reading off a script. But this, he motioned toward her. This is real. I laughed, not the funny kind. The kind that breaks something in your ribs. She doesn't even know, does she? I asked, turning to Alina. You had no idea, Xavier, she said, voice shaking now. I told you it was complicated, he muttered, almost to himself. No, I snapped. You told me I mattered. You told me I wasn't invisible. His jaw tightened. You're twisting things. Oh, so now I imagined everything? I laughed again. The nights? The words? The way you touched me like I was the only woman who ever made you feel anything. He didn't answer. I turned to Alina. You want to know where he was last Friday night? Stop, Xavier warned. No, let her hear it, I said. He was in his car, kissing me so hard we forgot to breathe. Alina stepped back like I'd slapped her. Xavier looked furious now. Not ashamed, furious. You're making a scene, he said coldly. Good, I whispered. Let it burn. He stepped toward me. You should leave. I should've left the second I saw her, I said. But I needed to hear it from your mouth. That I was just a game. I never promised anything. No, I said. You just made it feel like you did. Alina whispered something I couldn't catch. He turned to her. Let me explain. She shook her head, already grabbing her bag. Don't, I said. Don't lie to her like you did to me. I never lied, he hissed. Silence is a lie too. I snapped. I walked out, into the night, into the rain. I didn't even notice how hard it was falling until I reached the sidewalk. I didn't run. I couldn't. I just walked, soaked, shaking, numb. My hands wouldn't stop trembling. I reached for my phone but couldn't feel my fingers. Raisa answered on the first ring. I'm outside, I whispered. Where are you? Are you okay? I can't breathe. Stay where you are. I'm coming. By the time she found me, I was sitting on the curb, water dripping down my spine. She threw her jacket over my shoulders and knelt in front of me. What did he do? She asked. I looked at her. He touched me like I meant everything, I said. While loving her the whole time, her face twisted. I didn't even cry, I added. I just broke. Raisa wrapped her arms around me, and for the first time that night I finally let myself fall apart. I think I forgot how to eat, I muttered, staring at the untouched toast on my plate. Raisa didn't look up from her coffee. You didn't forget. You're punishing yourself. I'm just not hungry. She pushed the mug aside. You didn't do anything wrong, you know. He made me believe I mattered. I swallowed. That's on me. No, that's on him. You're allowed to believe in people. Then why do I feel like a fool? Because you loved him, she said simply. And he used it. I looked down at my shaking hands. I keep seeing him. In my head, his voice. That night, that word, distraction, she said bitterly. I nodded. Burn it, she added, her voice low and firm. Burn his name. I laughed, but it cracked in the middle. How? Report him. I'm not ready. Then document every call, every message, every breath he took in your direction. Write it down. I stared at her. Let the world see who he really is, she said. But do it on your terms. At work, everything echoed. His voice through the glass wall, his laugh to offices away, the sound of my name when he called it across the hall like nothing ever happened. My hands trembled every time I saw his name in email notifications. Xavier K. Ray. Updates. Xavier K. FWDL. Contract. Xavier K. Quick chat. I wanted to delete everything. I wanted to scream and tear my badge off and walk out, but I didn't. I opened a new file, for me, and I typed, June 12. Dinner to discuss promotion. Kiss me after. June 18. Don't tell anyone. They won't understand us. July 3. Called me into office. Touched my back. July 9. You matter to me. Lied. I saw you talking to Mr. Chan. Today, Raisa said when I got home. I kicked my shoes off and collapsed on the couch. He asked how I was doing. That's code for I know something's wrong. I told him I was tired. Raisa raised an eyebrow. And he nodded. Said he's been noticing things, subtle things, power shifts. Did he mention Xavier? No, but the way he looked at me. Like he knew. Like he was giving me a safe door to walk through if I wanted. Are you going to take it? I stared at the ceiling. Not yet, but you will. I nodded. Yeah, just not until I can stand in that room without shaking. I opened Xavier's latest message. Subject. Clarify slide 4. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I hit reply. Attached. Per your request. Murano warmth. No exclamation marks. No lingering. Just cold. Just clinical. Just like him. Later that night, I sat on the floor with Raisa. My laptop was open, screen glowing. I started backing up the messages. I said. She didn't speak. Just nodded. I even saved the voicemails. The ones where he said, I was his escape. Smart. I didn't think I'd ever be this person. You're not this person, she said. You're becoming the version of you who won't stay silent. I feel like I'm to people, I whispered. The me who loved him and the me who wants to destroy him. Let her. Let the second one speak. I don't know if she's strong enough yet. Raisa looked at me. Then we'll build her, day by day. The next morning, I passed Xavier in the hall. He smiled, like nothing was broken, like I wasn't bleeding inside. I smiled back, tight, measured, empty. He didn't see it. Good, because one day, he would, and when he did, I'd be standing in front of him unshaken, documented, ready. I wasn't there yet, but I would be. Lead counsel? I blinked. Me, Mr. Chan didn't smile. He rarely did. You've earned it. I didn't even apply. You didn't have to. You're already doing the work. I sat there, stunned. He slid the file toward me. This one's big. Xavier's been overseeing it, but I want a new face running it. New face? I asked, even though I knew exactly what he meant. He met my gaze. A better one. Xavier didn't say a word the first week, not even when I presented my first case brief in front of the boardroom. His project, my voice, my strategy. He sat across from me, lips tight. When I looked at him, I didn't flinch. I looked right through him. You're glowing, Raisa said, tossing a piece of popcorn into her mouth. It's adrenaline. No, it's power, I shrugged. But I couldn't stop smiling. He's watching you? She asked. Every meeting. Every hallway. Like he's waiting for me to fall. Good. Let him wait. The fourth meeting into the quarter, he cornered me by the coffee machine. Mira, I turned slowly. Xavier, you've changed. I stirred my coffee calmly. Didn't think you noticed. I notice everything. I gave him a tight smile. Not everything. Clearly, his jaw tightened. We should talk. We are talking. Privately, I sipped my drink. That won't be necessary. You're making things difficult. I met his eyes. No, Xavier. I'm making things equal. Later, in the elevator, I caught him staring at me again. I didn't look away. He used to hold me like I was delicate glass. Now I held myself like steel. Raisa poked her head into my room Saturday morning. Want to burn anything today? Photos? Love notes? Dignity? I laughed. Nope. I've got something better. Oh, I pulled out a small white box. Her eyes widened. Is that? I nodded. Alina's bracelet. She sat beside me. You're giving it back? I picked up a note card. With a message. She leaned closer. What are you writing? I whispered it out loud as my pen moved. Found this in his drawer. Thought it belonged to someone who mattered. Raisa exhaled slowly. Mira, I sealed the box. She deserves to know. Monday, around noon, Alina walked into the office. Perfect. Composed. Wearing beige heels that probably cost more than my rent, I stood up. I made sure she saw me wearing deep wine red, Xavier's favorite. Her eyes flicked over me briefly. Curious, unbothered, I walked over slowly. Hi, Alina. She blinked, surprised. Oh, Mira, right? I handed her the box. He left this in his drawer. I figured it might mean something to you. She looked down, confused. Bracelet, engraved, with your name. I tilted my head. It seemed personal. She opened it. Her face didn't change, but her eyes sharpened. There it was, recognition. I turned to leave. Mira? I paused. She stared at the note. Why are you giving this to me now? I smiled softly. Because I finally realized I'm not the one who should be hiding. That night, Xavier texted me. Xavier, that was unnecessary. Me. So was everything. You did. We're even now. Raisa opened a bottle of cheap wine and tossed me a glass. To revenge? I clinked hers. To clarity, the next morning, I walked into the boardroom 10 minutes early. My slides were ready. My voice steady. Mr. Chang glanced at me. You prepared? Always. Xavier walked in 5 minutes later. He looked at me. This time, I looked away. I didn't need to stare him down anymore. He already knew. I wasn't his distraction. I was his consequence. Did you hear? Raisa whispered, sliding into the chair beside mine. No, I replied, not looking up from my notes. They're investigating Xavier. HR's been quietly asking around. Something about intern misconduct. My pen paused. Which intern? I asked. Which one? She smirked. Apparently there were more. I stared at my calendar. And Alina? Gone. I finally looked up. Gone. She moved out last week. Took her things. Deleted him from Instagram. That's the new definition of final. 2 days later, I bumped into Jordan from compliance in the break room. You were on Xavier's last project, right? He asked casually. I was. He nodded, sipping his coffee. You ever feel like he blurred lines? I raised an eyebrow. Blurred how? You know, personal stuff. Playing favorites. Overstepping boundaries. I gave a neutral shrug. I wouldn't know. He studied me for a second. Okay, just curious. Then came the email from Layla Shah, legal affairs subject. Informal chat. Her inquiry time. 11:08 am. Mira, would you be open to a brief conversation this week regarding your time on Xavier Malik's team? Strictly confidential. Let me know what works best. Layla Reza was practically vibrating when I told her. Do it, she said. Tell them everything. I don't know. You do know. He used you. I stayed quiet. You documented it all, remember? She pressed. The messages, the favors, the late nights, I know. So what's the hesitation? I wanted to see him break, and now that it's happening, it feels too easy, too Empty. Layla met me in a small conference room, warm smile, soft eyes. Thanks for coming, Mira. Just a few questions. I nodded. Okay, how long did you work directly with Xavier? 7 months. During that time, did he ever make you feel uncomfortable? I stared at the floor. He made me feel chosen, and then discarded. She waited. No pen, no clipboard, just silence. He'd compliment me, touch my hand, say things that blurred the line between colleague and I trailed off. It was confusing. Did you ever feel pressured? I looked her in the eye. Not overtly, but he had power. He used it to manipulate how I saw myself, how I saw him. Did you have a romantic relationship? I hesitated. Not officially. Unofficially, I nodded. Was it consensual? Yes. Until I realized I wasn't the only one. Her voice was calm. Would you be willing to put any of this in writing? I exhaled. Maybe. Not yet. No pressure, she said softly. You're not the only one. I blinked. I'm not? She shook her head. You're just the first to come this far. That night, Xavier called me. I stared at his name lighting up my screen. Once, I would have picked up in a heartbeat. Now, I watched it ring. I let it go to voicemail. Then he texted, Xavier, we need to talk. Please. Xavier, I didn't mean for any of this. Xavier, can you just call me back? I didn't reply. The next day, he waited outside the office. Mira, I kept walking. Please. Just a minute. I stopped. What do you want? He looked tired. Things are getting blown out of proportion, are they? I messed up. Okay, but I didn't deserve this. I laughed. Didn't you? He looked down. Alina's gone. My name's mud in this firm. I might lose everything. I folded my arms. Sounds like karma. He met my eyes. And you? You feel better now? I paused. Not really. Then what was the point? He asked. I don't know yet. That night, I sat with Raisa on her balcony, watching the city hum beneath us. Did you report him? She asked. No, not fully. Why? Because I'm not sure if I want justice or revenge. Maybe they're the same. No, I said quietly. Revenge is about him. Justice is about me. She nodded. So what do you want? I want to matter again. To myself, the next morning, I drafted a new email to Layla. Subject line. Regarding Xavier. Maliki stared at it for a long time, then deleted it. Not because I forgave him, but because for the first time in weeks he wasn't the point anymore. I was. I heard his footsteps before I saw him. Mira, I didn't turn. I kept walking toward my car. Please just wait. I stopped. Only because part of me wanted to know what lie he'd choose this time. He stood a few feet away, hands in his pockets, hoodie pulled up like the night might hide him from his own guilt. I was scared. I crossed my arms. Of what? He hesitated. Of how much I needed you. I stared at him. So you chose her instead? His voice cracked. I didn't know how to be real with you. That's not an apology. I'm not trying to make excuses. You are. He looked down. You weren't supposed to matter that much. I blinked, slow and deliberate. Say that again. I mean, he winced. I didn't expect you to get inside my head like that. I didn't expect to fall. You didn't fall. You played. No, God, Mira, I still think about you. I stayed quiet. I think about the way you smiled when you were trying to hide it. The way you used to wait for everyone else to leave before you'd let your guard down. I think about that night you brought soup when I was sick. Stop. He froze. You're remembering details. That's not the same as love. It was love. Then why did you touch me like I meant everything while loving her too? He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Because I'm a coward. I nodded slowly. Finally, something true. I never stopped missing you. Missing me doesn't mean you get me back. He stepped closer. Don't you feel anything when you see me? I took a breath. I feel sad for the girl who thought being chosen by you meant she was worthy. He blinked fast. You were worthy, then why did you make me feel disposable? I didn't mean to, but you did, and you meant it enough to let me break alone. He shook his head. I didn't know how to fix it. You didn't try. Silence stretched. The night was still. I loved you, he said again, voice lower this time. No, I said gently. You loved how I made you feel. That's different. He swallowed hard. So that's it. That's freedom. He stared at the ground, then at me. You meant more than you'll ever know. I smiled, but there was no warmth in it. I know exactly how much I meant. He looked like he might cry. I didn't. Back in my apartment, I sat on the edge of the bed. My phone buzzed. Xavier, I wish I could go back. Xavier, I should have chosen you. Xavier, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't reply. I opened our message thread. Years of half love, full lies, and too many maybes. I hovered over delete conversation. My thumb didn't shake this time. I tapped it. The screen cleared, just like that his words were gone, not because I didn't remember them, but because they didn't define me anymore. I stood and walked to the window. The night sky stretched wide. Quiet, endless, I breathed, not for him, for me.